And let's give this first problem a shot, everybody. Here we go. So when we do any word problem, I'm going to repeat this a million different times, but remember that every time we do a word problem, we want to begin with the question sentence. So right here, this reads, let me grab red. It reads, what fraction of the venue's capacity was used? Everybody, can we take the main keyword from that question sentence? What is that going to be? What's the one word that stands out in terms of us doing math? Yeah, the word fraction. We are looking at the word fraction. That's what we want. We want a fraction at the end of the day. And remember, everybody, what is a fraction? A fraction is going to be some number out of another number, one number over another. Now, what do they want us to represent in this fraction, everybody? Can you tell me, outside of the word fraction, what's the next most important phrase or keyword here? Exactly, Giovanni, capacity that was used. So can we all confirm there in the chat box that what we want to find is the fraction that represents the capacity of the venue that was used? All right. So once we acknowledge that, check this out. This is how we're going to get this done. We want to know the capacity of the venue that's been used. So first, let's understand what the capacity actually is, and let's see how much of it was used. That way we can represent that as a fraction. So again, how much was used out of the capacity? That's the fraction that we're trying to represent. Everyone, when we read here, at a local event, the venue's capacity is 114 people. Only 36 people attended. Womp womp, sad day, but let's go ahead and stick to the objectivity here. Everyone, how many seats in the venue were used? 36, that's correct. That's right here. 36 people attended. So we'll have 36 right there. Everyone, what's the capacity of the venue? 114. That is correct as well. Capacity is 114 people. Now let me go ahead, place that right there. Now everyone, here's one thing that I'm going to give you in terms of an advantage in today's class. In standardized tests, everybody, in standardized tests, is the final answer always going to be in simplified form? That is correct. That is a yes. In standardized tests, like the one you're preparing for, if you have a fraction final answer, like we see in these, the final answer shall always be written in simplified form. You really won't see the unsimplified answer in the list. But again, this is one thing that I'm going to do in today's class as a favor. If you choose the unsimplified form or the simplified form, I will count them both as correct only for the purposes of practicing today. But I will point out what the true correct answer will be if it's the simplified one. Does that make sense, everybody, before I continue? Excellent. Sounds good. So one of the answers that you may have chosen that would have been correct is B right here. This will be, for today's purpose, correct. 36 out of 114. That is the fraction that represents the venue's capacity that was used. However, what can we do? What is that S word that we should do? Like I just expressed. Correct. We have to simplify. Exactly. So let's zoom on in and let's ask ourselves, everybody, even if it's not glaringly obvious to us, what do we know about 36 and 114 given the numbers that they end with that we can potentially divide out? I see a lot of us saying that 6 can go into both 36 and 114, and I'll accept that. That actually is the biggest number that we should be looking for, but let's say it wasn't obvious to you. Let's say you didn't know that 114 was divisible by 6. If you didn't know that, everybody, what is the next best number you can use given that both 36 and 114 are both even? Yeah, given that they're both even, we can divide them both by 2. So let's begin there, dividing them both by 2. Let's try this out. Everybody, what's 36 divided by 2? 36 divided by 2, that will be correct, 18. Then we have 114 divided by 2. What is that going to be? And even if you didn't know right off the cuff, no worries. Let's do 2 into 114. 2 doesn't go into 1, but it does go into 11. And so that'll be 5 times. 5 times 2, that's 10. So let's subtract that, giving us a remainder of 1. When we drop the 4, that's going to be 14. And everybody, 2 goes into 14 7 times, giving us 57. So we'll go ahead and notice that again, no remainder, so we're all good. So 18 over 57 is what we currently have. All right, everybody. Next up, we're not done. We're not done simplifying here. But what can we do now? What can we continue to simplify by? What are 18 and 57 both divisible by? Correct, that is going to be 3. Remember that the rules for divisibility, when it comes to division by 2, they just both have to be even numbers. If we're trying to figure out if numbers are divisible by 3, well, 18 we already know is divisible by 3 because 6 times 3. But another way that you can tell if a number is divisible by 3 is if you add up the digits. If that addition is divisible by 3, then you know the number is divisible by 3. So here's what that looks like. Let's take the 1 and the 8. Everybody, 1 plus 8 equals what? That's going to be 9. Everybody, is 9 divisible by 3? It absolutely is, right? So yes, we know that we can divide the 18 by 3. And I'll go ahead and show that right there. Then everybody, let's go ahead and add those digits up for 57. Everybody, 5 plus 7, what is that going to be? That's going to be 12. Everyone, is 12 divisible by 3? Absolutely is. 12 is divisible by 3. So therefore, 57 is divisible by 3 as well. So that's how we know. Again, just a quick refresher. If you add the digits and they're divisible by 3, then the number itself is divisible by 3. Just a quick refresher on that. But let's go ahead and get this done here. 18 divided by 3, that's going to be 6. And then 57 divided by 3, let's write that out over here and get that done. 3 goes into 5 one time. Subtract the 3 to get 2 left over. Then we drop the 7. 3 goes into 27 9 times. And that's a clean 9, and we're done. So therefore, everybody, the correct answer here is going to be 6 over 19. That is the simplified version of that fraction. So again, I'll take B as a partially correct answer, but on a standardized test, so I can express this clearly to you, the simplified answer will always be the true correct answer. My party people, all in all, did this make sense for this beginning problem? Right on, sounds good, everybody. So take a moment here, do your thing, and let's get ready to move forward to practice problem number 2.